Hi everybody. Today we're going to take some time to learn about the women who are going to the Rogue Invitational after qualifying from the queue. First up, the winner of the queue this year was Dani Spiegel, probably the most well-known of the group, thanks to her 4 trips to the CrossFit Games. Currently, she's ranked 24th in the worldwide CrossFit rankings. This year, she did not make it to the CrossFit Games after finishing 11th at the North America West semifinals. She was just 2 points behind that last spot, so right on the cusp of making it to the Games for a 5th year. Also this season, she finished 33rd in the worldwide quarterfinals leaderboard and 122nd this year in the 2023 CrossFit Open. From past Rogue experiences, Spiegel's best finish was in 8th place way back in the inaugural Rogue Invitational in 2019. She also went last year. And then her best finish at the CrossFit Games was 13th in 2020. Looking at some notable finishes from Dani Spiegel over the course of the last couple of years. She had a 2nd place at Wodapalooza in this January, finishing just behind Paige Powers, who won the overall leaderboard at Wodapalooza. And in the 2022 CrossFit Games, Spiegel finished in 17th position. 2nd place on the queue leaderboard was Manon Agonies. She is actually the only woman to have qualified for the Rogue Invitational 2 years in a row out of the queue. Make that actually any athlete to qualify twice out of the queue. Overall, on the worldwide ranking, she's currently 82nd. She finished 35th at the CrossFit Games this year in her rookie year and had a really stellar season. So she was 7th in European semifinals, 8th in a worldwide quarterfinal leaderboard, and 15th overall at the CrossFit Open. So really establishing herself amongst the elite CrossFitters in the world. Her best finish at Rogue was last year, obviously in her rookie appearance at Rogue, where she finished 11th. And again, her rookie year at the Games was this year, where she finished 35th overall. Looking back over the course of last year, some notable results for Agonies. She had a 6th place finish at Dubai last December and had a 3rd place last year at the 2022 Madrid Championship. So really a breakout year for her over the last 12-14 months. So be interesting to see if she can place a little bit higher this year on the Rogue leaderboard. In 3rd place on the queue leaderboard, you got Elena Carratalá Sanahuja. She did not make it to the CrossFit Games out of Europe this year. Currently ranked 54th in the worldwide rankings. Sanahuja finished 27th in that stacked European semifinal. Had a relatively good finish in worldwide quarterfinals when she finished 40th, and had a top 10 performance in the CrossFit Open where she finished 7th. For Elena, this will be her rookie appearance at the Rogue Invitational, and she made her rookie appearance at the Games last year in 2022, where she finished 38th overall. Carratalá Sanahuja has been relatively active so far in the off-season. She had a 7th place finish at the French Throwdown in June, and is coming off a 4th place finish at the Madrid Championship that happened earlier this September. In 4th place in the queue, you had Lauren Fisher. She's currently ranked 619th in the worldwide rankings, just because if you go teams for a year, you're a little bit penalized in those ranking calculations. She did not attend the Games this year or make it to the Games this year as an individual, but she did finish 13th in that North America West semifinal. So again, only a couple spots out of that last qualifying position. She had a 34th in worldwide quarterfinals and a 40th in the CrossFit Open. So a pretty good performance for her this year, as Fisher has returned back to the individual competition. This will be Lauren Fisher's 1st year at the Rogue Invitational this year. So again, another rookie in that field. And her best performance at the CrossFit Games is way back in 2014 when she finished 9th overall. For Fisher, again, continues to be active from a competition standpoint. In the 2022 Down Under Championship, she had a 6th place finish. And last year at the CrossFit Games, she was a member of that CrossFit Reykjavik team that finished 4th overall. Our last 2 athletes are Kolenbrander and Kyra Milligan. They ended up tying in terms of points on the Q leaderboard. but then just some calculation mix-ups ended up on Rogue prematurely announcing Kyra Milligan as the 5th place finisher when the tiebreak actually went to Kolenbrander. But props to Rogue to giving them both an invite this year rather than causing any unnecessary heartbreak by an error on their part. So let's take a look at these athletes. First up, Christine Kolenbrander. She's ranked 17th on the worldwide rankings after going to the CrossFit Games the last 2 seasons. She is the only woman out of these 6 to be to the CrossFit Games the last 2 years. This year, she had her best finish at the CrossFit Games, finishing 22nd overall. This coming off of a 4th place finish she had at the North America West semifinals. She also had a 31st in worldwide quarterfinals and a 46th in the CrossFit Open. So Kolenbrander really building out a solid year. Again, going to the games in back-to-back years, no easy feat. From a Rogue perspective, this will be her first appearance at the Rogue. But again, this was her best year at the CrossFit Games, finishing 22nd. So interesting to see if she can build on that. And as a stronger athlete, some of the workouts at Rogue may play into her favor. So a top 10 finish is definitely in the cards for her. Other notable performances for Kolenbrander of the recent memory. At Wodapalooza this year, she was on the 5th place team, the girls. And last year in the fall, she was 2nd place at the Zealous Games. And then our last qualifier, Kyra Milligan, she's ranked 102nd in the world, mostly due to her appearance on the teams this year. Even though she trains with Underdog Athletics, she was a member of the Mayhem Independence team that finished 7th overall at the CrossFit Games this year. Even though Milligan was going down the team path this year, she did compete in individual quarterfinals where she finished a very respectable 43rd overall on those worldwide rankings. And that's after a 32 place finish she had in the Open. Milligan is another rookie who's going to be at Rogue this year. And this year as a team athlete, it was her first appearance at the CrossFit Games again, where she finished 7th as part of that Mayhem Independence team. For Milligan, she also competed on a team at Wodapalooza, finishing in 8th place there. At semifinals last year, she did compete at the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, where she finished 14th overall. So for Kyra Milligan, this year could just be a stepping stone for her to be a rookie at the CrossFit Games next year. And with that, those are the qualifiers for the women's field for the Rogue Invitational out of the queue.